What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? We're back this week with the Anger Management Podcast. Just talking about some of the things that I had going on and what I've been dealing with and everything. But I also got one of my cool friends here with me. He's kind of in the realm of like mental health, dealing with vets and stuff like that. He might be able to give us some insight because he might be going through some things too. You know what I mean? So I wanted to be able to bring people on who could possibly need some help, and we can help each other out. We can hold each other accountable. So what's going on? However you want to be called.
Well, I'm not into the he, him, his thing. You can just call me the Fabler.
Okay. So the first thing I wanted to discuss in reference to men's health and their mental health. I know you helped me out when I was going through the VA as far as going ahead and trying to get my disability and everything. And what was in my jacket was some things dealing with mental health as well. And I just wanted to know from your perspective, like, what is it that you see when coming in, what people kind of typically deal with, especially vets? What do vets kind of typically deal with the most?
Actually, there is not a typical when it comes to mental health because from our end, we do like cultural appropriation classes and training. So it teaches you like, hey, you know, the older Korean vets, Vietnam vets, the Gulf War vets, each one of them will approach mental health differently because of the stigmas placed upon mental health from their generation. So more of the Vietnam guys, they're a little bit shy about asking it because they were harassed for so long. Like, yo, you a baby killer. You know, that was the wasn't the black man's war, especially for our melanated brothers that's coming in. Like, you know, the whole Muhammad Ali thing. Gook ain't ever called me a nigga. So a lot of black veterans don't want to come in from the Vietnam era and ask for mental health. One, because families taught them, hey, tough it up.
Suck it up.
Yeah, you know, you got that one uncle that's a little off. Just put him in the back room in the house and feed him and tell him to stay in there. You know, we all got that one family member because of our ages.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at more of the guys that were in our time in the military, you know, as Gulf War vets, especially from the first Gulf War, we have no shame about coming in. We want our benefits. We want you to take care of us. Y'all sent us to war. Y'all put us in these messed up situations. We believe that you owe us treatment. Now, I want to skip back to the old Vietnam guys and before them, the Korean War guys that some are still around. It's hard to get an old dog to do new tricks. Some of those older gentlemen, you know, they toughed it out. They drank it out. Some of them went to drugs. So when you look at the mental health aspect, you have to look at everything that's going on with the person. Financials, religious beliefs, family situations, the drug use. Some are in and out of homelessness. It's a lot to take on the very first day when you do intake.
See, now I know dealing with mine, I kind of was talking to a counselor and was finding out that I have what you call non-traumatic PTSD or non-combative PTSD. that's what they say. It's like, okay, the things that the Marine Corps did to you to prepare you and make you a Marine might have had some psychological problems or psychological issues that they implanted in you. And then on top of that, having to navigate all of that while trying to be somewhat emotionally available for family members and friends. You know what I mean? I think that's probably the hardest is like, okay, well, at some point I want to be able to share what I got going on, but I don't want you all to worry about what I got going on. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, everybody has to keep stuff close to the chest, and you want to, hey, there's a little bit, just to let you know I'm not crazy, but here's just a little tidbit, but I don't want you all the way in my business.
Right. No, I think beforehand, for a long time, it was, I didn't want them to worry, so I made sure they always thought that I was okay. You know what I mean? But I think,
Never
like
do that.
for yeah, it's never. I said the phrase "never" is never late than
Better late than
better
never.
late than never. Yeah, that's what it is. So for me, it's like, okay, well, yeah, now I know. Now I'm aware. Now I can understand how my being what I am affects the people around me. You know what I mean? I was having this discussion with Keita, and we was talking about the Signal 27 podcast, right? And I was like, well, all of us kind of mess with each other. You know what I mean? And sometimes it can be kind of like rough. You know what I'm saying? As far as being bothered with, like, so you don't ever have an issue with like people like us at times messing with you because of the MS situation or anything like that.
Nah. When it's someone I know, respect, trust, and love, you can say damn near anything to me. It will not set me off unless you say something negative about my child.
Okay.
And
So
even then, it's not that old saying, sticks and stones will break bones, words won't hurt. At the end of the day, I kind of respect and disrespect a person's opinion at the same time. If you have something negative to say about me and you're not fucking me, paying my bills, or saying for my soul, fuck what you're saying. Excuse my French, everybody, but that's how I honestly feel in my heart.
see, now
I don't care what comes out your mouth if you cannot affect the roof over my head or my income.
and I think that might be that's the way most men have it. You know what I'm saying? But has that mentality worked with dealing with women? And I'm learning now that because
No. For me, no. Not to cut you off. Go ahead. I can answer that
no,
later.
go ahead.
Two things with me personally, with my trials and tribulations with the military and the things they instilled in me. When you're taught to be uber responsible and to think about everything 10 steps ahead of time, when you're having a conversation with someone that does not have that training and they're about emotions and wanting to talk about the emotions, your mindset is problem solving. You converse with me, I got 10 things going through my head to bring a solution to this immediately. So when it's my time to speak in this conversation, I'm bringing the solution, whereas you just want to converse about the issue. That's a problem that I have in my personal romantic life. I want to be the man that provides. I want to be the person that protects my loved ones, to include my significant other, my children, my grandchildren. When you talk to me, it's not, hey, how you doing, buddy, buddy? You're coming to me for a solution for the problem. I'm trying to dead it before it goes on.
Get out of hand. I understand. Yeah, and it's kind of when I think that's like for most men, we have this thing about problem solving. I know I had to learn that women don't really want you to solve the problem; they just want you to hear what they have to say because it's something that they have to deal with. I, on the other hand, think that that's also like where we try to control certain situations. You know what I mean? Like that. Now I'm kind of with speaking with you, I can understand why I feel like I need to be able to control a situation, and it's coming from my ideals of wanting to make sure everything was safe and secure and sound. You know what I mean? And to the point to where it's like, okay, well, listen, if I tell you to do something, I need for you to do it. I don't need for you to question me about it or anything like that. I need for you to do it. But then there's at some point in time that can become, I guess, divisive because a lot of times they don't want to succumb to the control that you want to put upon them.
This is where I have an issue. The two words you use, control and succumb to authority. This is our military training. We get a sit rep. For you guys that don't know, that's a situation rep. Okay, they're going to tell you what's going on with this event and what your specific task is in this event. Don't do no more, don't do no less. There's no need for conversation in that type of environment. You have your task, go do it, go do it. We bring that back to our relationships at home. That doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't. And sometimes it takes us a while to kind of understand that certain things aren't working. You know, you gotta understand that, okay, well, dealing with what you have done in the past, you're gonna have to make some adjustments, you know. Sometimes you say things and do things just so that you can get the end result of what you want. You know? So
And that kind of sucks when, again, with our military training, we're taught to think 10 steps ahead. You know, if I don't do this part of the step, somebody could die down range. But I also need to know the intermediary steps between me and that guy down range. It could be 3 or 4 more steps in that process. I got to make sure I do my part of it right so they can do their part right and their part right so the guy down range that's getting shot at gets his equipment, gets his food, get his supplies. You know, that's a hell of a responsibility. And when that's your mindset 24/7, it's kind of hard to just turn that off day one when you separate from the military.
Yeah.
But I was a bit divisive, so my transition was a little easier. I didn't buy into the brainwashing. I bought into the responsibilities and the maturity of it. But the brainwashing, nah.
No, I think I tried to fight it. I guess I tried to fight it as much as possible.
Fisticuff fight?
No, I'm just saying,
You
just
sure?
like okay, yeah, I'm positive.
We're not gonna bring that up.
No, we'll save that for another episode. He's not alive to care anyway. So,
Sorry, y'all, that was an inside joke. We're not gonna let that out.
but at the end of the day, right? So when things do come up and you trying to not get brainwashed. When I was in boot camp, man, I was really fighting like, oh no, you're not about to just tell me what to do this and tell me what to do with that. But when you're in an environment like that, you change regardless. I don't care what nobody say. You're not going to come out the same way I went in when I was 17 and got done with boot camp, and now I'm 22 getting out. It's not you're not the same person when you went in.
You're not supposed to be.
But sometimes you want to at least think that you are a better person out of it all.
You were.
Well, no, I was very aggressive and very
You were a Marine.
demanding.
Your job was to go kill the enemy. You supposed to be a pussy in that type of environment.
Yeah, but they got to be some.
Come on, man.
Yeah, there has to be some. There has to be some type of divide where you get over. Now, I must say that I would have loved the VA to be able to help when I go to the VA and they tell me, "Oh, you make too much money to get VA benefits."
Yeah, I don't understand that myself.
Yeah, and I'm like, how is that possible? I would have loved to be able to get some type of psychological training when I got out, something like that, so that way I can kind of cope with being out of the military. I realized in 2002 is when I got out, and now it's 2024. I am just now getting the help that I need when it comes to my mental health. You know what I mean? And it damn near took me almost losing my entire family for me to be able to be like, oh shit, something is really wrong with you, Leroy. And I was like, man, dang, man. I was like, I have this attitude of like, man, fuck all this. I don't give a fuck. I have this like, okay, well, if you don't do the job, fuck it. That's on you. You're going to be done. It is what it is, But
It's still in you.
It is, but I want to be more compassionate, and I want to be more understanding when it comes to my close friends and family. I don't want to just have a okay, fuck it attitude. So I'll bring this up, right? And I don't think they mind me sharing. I really wanted my mom and my sister and my nephew to move down here. I really wanted them to. Thing is that they was like, every time that it was an opportunity to come along, they gave me an excuse.
Florida for everybody.
Well, it's not even that Florida's for everybody. It's the fact that, listen, I feel personally that your living situation, now I'm thinking about everything. Me personally.
You got them 10 steps already thought out.
Right. I was like, me personally, I think the living situation that you have in Maryland sucks. There's no reason for you to be living like that when you could be down here, possibly having your own house, only just staying with us for I'm about to say periodically for a period of time.
Let him have it, y'all. He's on a roll.
Where you can at least stack your funds, get your credit straight, and then you all can buy your home. But every time I was like, well, y'all come down here and move down here with me for a little while, it was always an excuse. Okay, well, your grandmother can't go because she's too old. Lies. So when she passed away, I was like, okay, well, come on. Well, my aunt is still up there. So I was like, okay, well, when my aunt passed, okay, what else is holding you up there now? At the end of the day, just tell me y'all don't want to do it, because I'm like, okay, well, listen, if you move down here, you can stack your money, you can get your credit and stuff situated, and then you can go ahead and buy yourself your own house, even in this neighborhood, and y'all can live together forever, but y'all be down here. And then you'll be closer to your grandchild, who's an adult now, and then I'll be closer to my nephew, and me and my sister and stuff will be together. I just felt like it was a better situation overall. One thing I did have to learn is that just because you want something for somebody, if they don't want it for themselves, then you have to say fuck it. Problem is that it's my close friend, it's my family. And that was a problem for me. And it was a problem to me for a long for like a like damn, y'all need to just, what are y'all going to do? You know what I'm saying? To the point to where it was bringing stress, and I was getting angry because I'm like, okay, well, listen, what are y'all going to do? Let me know what y'all going to do. I just learned recently, after going through my counseling, that me trying to control that situation, I can't, because they don't want it. And then Keita was telling me, just because you want something for them doesn't mean that they want that for themselves. And you can't want it more than they want it. So I'm like, well, dang, I was like, that kind of, it helped me open my eyes. And once I started listening to everything, 'cause I will close everything off. If you're not listening to what I'm asking you to do, then don't ask me for nothing.
That sounds familiar. I have that same trait.
You know what I mean? So,
Here's something I could tell you. There are people that take advantage of that, and you're speaking to one right now. When I got out the service, I went back to my home in Cleveland. My friend DJ, who I've known DJ since 86, 87, 86. We met in middle school. We ran track together, cross country, swim team. We did the Olympics together, Junior Olympics. I never stopped being this guy's friend, and same thing there. Once I got out the service, he and his fiance at the time moved to Florida. They had some other relatives here, and they loved it. They would always talk it up. It's like, Ed, why are you still in Ohio, man? You were in the military. You traveled the world. You traveled the whole country. You know there are things better than paying taxes. City, county, state taxes in Ohio. And the city of Cleveland charges 8% for taxes. If you live in a separate suburb within that same county, you paying two different city taxes, your job and where you live, county tax, state tax, federal tax. He was like, that's crazy, bro. We pay state tax in Florida. We don't even pay state tax in Florida. We just pay federal. I'm like, shit, that's beneficial. He was like, yo, it don't snow down here. I'm like, what about the hurricanes? He's like, man, you ever heard of a hurricane hitting Disney or South Beach? People go to South Beach all the time. It's still there. Hurricanes hit Miami all the time. 2 days after the hurricane, it's cleaned up. You know it's coming 2 weeks before. Leave.
yep.
I'm like, that's a good selling point. He was like, yo, how many times have you done your wheel alignment in Ohio because you keep hitting potholes? I'm like, yo, about 3-4 times a year. He's like, that's like $70 a pop, right? I was like, yeah, but it's something you do. You get used to it. After a while, I started listening to what he was saying. It was basically, I had become a victim of the Stockholm syndrome to my location.
Okay, that's deep how you put it. Like I got to stay here because this is all that I know.
I took that leap of faith. And as you gave the olive branch to your family, he gave the olive branch to me. By then, he had married his fiance, so they're married. They let me stay in their house. You know, I had to crash on the couch. I was like, bruh, before I come down there, I'm going to find a job first. That way, I put the financials and let him know I'm not just staying at your house, sleeping on your couch. I'm going to be there for a minute. I'm getting out just to be respectful and responsible. So as I job searched, I found one. I let them know, like, hey, I've done the interview. They accepted me. I got 40 days to be down there. When I got here, I was like, hey, man, thank you for all the help from the day I told you I got this job to me being here and letting me stay here. Every day after he got off work, he went to various apartment complexes in the city as well as rental properties trying to find me a spot. That's love right there. Same thing this young man did for his family. I took advantage of it, and that's why you had the Fabler here. I had to swallow my pride, look at the bigger picture. How will my life be 20 years from now if I'm not paying taxes? State, city, county, state taxes. All I'm paying is federal. How will my retirement look? My car, it won't be banged up, dented up, rusted up. My car will last 20 years versus 7 years in Ohio because the salt is eating up the bottom of my car. I can literally do Flintstone style, put my foot through the car and walk on the street. That happened, by the way. Never buy a 2003 Dodge Intrepid.
I had one. I had a burgundy Dodge Intrepid.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and it was a 98, 99.
You had the first body style.
Yep.
All right.
But yeah, I did the same thing with Keita and them. When I was in the military, I was like, well, listen, where is it that you all want to go? Because if I get out of here and I'll go back to D.C., with the way that I am, I'm going to get in trouble. So she chose Jacksonville because she had a friend that was here already. So what I did while I was in the military, I took a U-Haul, I went up there, and I moved her from up there to down here, and everything. It was, I think the drive was like an 18-hour drive in a U-Haul, a long body U-Haul at that. And then on top of that U-Haul that you got, that's that long. It didn't have no radio, so I had to I had to use the boom box that she had inside of the truck to go ahead and listen to that until the batteries ran out. So I had to then go buy batteries.
On
And then
top of road rage?
yeah,
Oh,
listen,
man.
listen. I mean, but it happened before when I was driving. I was used to go back and forth to Washington D.C. to go back to my duty station, and I was visiting Keita. Something happened to my transmission, and it wouldn't go higher than 55 miles an hour in the Dodge Intrepid. So I had to drive back from Washington, D.C., all the way back down to my duty station going 55 miles an hour the entire time.
So basically, you did the speed limit. That's not a problem, sir.
Yeah,
You're right.
when
You
they-
ain't never
when
drove
it's-
in the South saying that.
yeah, when the daggone speed, when it takes 8 hours to get from point A to point B, and then all of a sudden now instead of 8, it takes 11 to 12. Yeah, 55 miles an hour sucks when you're trying to get to point A to point B. And I would rather be doing the 85 that I normally do.
When allowed and posted. Allegedly 85.
Yeah. Yeah, so that explains all of the tickets and stuff I had to pay for once I got here. Matter of fact, when I found out I was here because I was trying to get a job with the sheriff's department here. And I've tried like 3 different times. The last time I just said, you know what, there's no need for me to try and get this position. Reason why I say that is because the, the people did a search on my background and found out I had a speeding ticket in South Carolina, and it was a felony.
That's the worst state.
It was a felony speeding ticket too, which means that if I would have got pulled over while I was in South Carolina, my tail is going to jail.
Yes, sir. South Carolina don't play.
So,
One of my soldiers, when what was this? 99, 2000, I had a one striper. He went home to South Carolina, got a ticket driving back to Fort Dix. They basically told him, hey, man, if you don't pay this car right now, we're going to swipe your visa. We're going to take you to jail, because he was doing like 90 and 55. You know, after a certain amount of speed over the speed limit, it becomes a felony. I think it's like 30 over the posted speed limit.
yeah, I know I was. I was doing 95 and a 65, I think.
Allegedly. That's what they said you was doing, but there's no dash cam back then to confirm. You could have been doing 78, and you just had to go what they were saying.
Yeah.
I'm
You
trying
heard
to
what
help
he said. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm trying to make some logic out of
Yeah,
this.
lying in good faith. You know?
What's admissible in court, bro?
Hey. Well, it's paid for now, so they ain't got nothing to worry about. It's already done. Y'all got y'all money, you know? But no, I'm like right now, I'm just going through the processes right now. I felt like this particular podcast here, just speaking with other people and then just getting it out. I know I was talking to counselor. Counselor was like, Leroy, you need to do something that's going to help benefit somebody else. And I was like, I do the podcast. He was like, yeah, but you know, you're going through some things. Use that. And I usually don't like to tell my personal business. This is the first time that I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and get in front of the camera. I got all of this equipment. Let me go ahead and instead of being the engineer, just cut the camera on and just talk. And we'll just have a conversation. And I feel like this might be able to help anybody else who might be going through the same thing that I might be going through, or even Ed, because Ed got some stuff, like he's his mental issue.
He never says my stage name, ever.
The Fabler.
Too late.
Fabe. He got some things going on within himself as well, man. And I just wanted to be like that, I guess you'd say, friendly ear, to be able to talk to my friends and like, yo, listen.
With me, I've done my own mental health counseling outside of the VA just because I am an employee of a certain government agency and I don't want government in my government business. My doctor said something that was very profound. He said, use what you're counseling about as a strength. You are a dynamic, awesome, great freaking comedian. Your ability, your fuck it ability, gives you the ability to talk about anything. Whereas I talk about topics. you've seen some of the stuff I've said on stage and heard it,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff we say off camera is wild. But when I'm on stage, I actually have a conscience about what I say, and at times I feel that can hold me back. You are straight up, man, fuck it, I'm gonna talk about it. If somebody come in here and they got a lazy eye and a gold tooth, hey, they look like a retarded Uncle Luke, and you gonna attack like a bulldog.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you. I appreciate that, and I think my stage persona is how I am on the inside, except it's expounded. What do you call it? It's I can't think of the word of what it is when you make it bigger than what it really is. You know, I had mentioned before that I do have that I don't give a fuck attitude, but that I don't give a fuck attitude is not good.
It's not that
in
you have
all
it, you
situations.
are it. You embody it.
But I don't. But here's the thing: I don't want to embody it in all situations, and that's where I feel like my counseling has kind of helped to kind of get me to understand. Listen, you can't have I don't give a fuck attitude about because your mom and them don't want to move down here. You still have to love on them. You can't have a I don't give a fuck attitude because somebody decides to do something to you. Now, if these are your loved ones, you have to still be able to interact and deal with them. You know what I mean? Now, for anybody that's fresh off the street and you do or say something to me, man, I don't give a fuck about that. I mean, I'm not, and you're gonna know it too. Like I have this problem with people not saying or speaking to me when we get on the elevator. I don't know why that drives me up the fucking wall.
That's
Pardon
old
my
head
French.
training.
Huh?
That's old head training.
It's like if I get on the elevator and I see you, how you doing, good morning, or how you doing. You don't want to say nothing to me, then while we on the elevator, I'm doing them fuck you then. You know what I mean? I don't mean to be that way, but it's just how it is in me. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to I catch myself now. So instead of me saying anything to anybody, I just won't say anything when they get on the elevator. And I learned that stuff like that and scenarios like that is what's been helping me throughout this particular journey. Now I had the EAP counseling for 6 weeks, and he helped me out when it came to my family issues and my anger management and my anxiety. He helped me with that.
Anxiety is a bitch.
Man, listen, your mind can have you thinking about all kind of things. And I think I recently, not too long ago, while I was at work, legitimately had an anxiety attack. And I'm talking
You
about,
can. Breathing, sweating, just
bro,
you get tunnel vision, like literally
like
tunnel vision.
yeah, stuff was getting darker.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like my peripherals and
Yeah.
everything, and I'm trying to focus on the daggone computer, and I'm legitimately like, man. And then I was like, man, I was like, had to actually kind of stand up. My heart and stuff started racing really bad, and I was like, you know what? As soon as my insurance and stuff clear up, because we just went through open enrollment, I'm going back to discuss that with them. I don't want to be in a situation to where that occurs. That's a problem. And I'm not sure if that's caused by the stress that I've been under or anything like that, but I don't want that to happen again.
I am not an expert on anxiety. I have my own, but again, that's part of my mental health journey because I have Asperger's. I'm thinking 10,000 things at once all the time and all the possibilities, whether they're positive or negative. And I'm trying to weigh the balances so I can find that median ground.
That's yeah. I don't know if I don't think I got Asperger's.
No,
but
you don't.
yeah, but I understand exactly what you're saying when you've been given you haven't been given clear direction. So you have to kind of, okay, well, what if this happens? Or what if this happens? Now, which one is the best way or the best option based on your entire scenario? You know, I can understand that.
You know, and with us having been prior military and we are in some type of service career field, jobs don't care about your mental. They just want the task completed. And sometimes if you have unscrupulous supervision, that's all about either numbers or making themselves look good. They tell you to do this one thing, but the thing they're telling you to do, one, it just morally doesn't feel right in your soul.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it doesn't always agree with how the regulations are written. It brings conflict to you, so you're always in that state of anxiety, like, damn, I got to do what they say because they the boss. I'm going to get in trouble. But if I don't do what the rules say, they can come back and say, well, you didn't follow the rule. We're going to fire you. You got responsibilities to take care of, so you can't jeopardize that thought of, well, if I do it this way, they can fire me.
Yeah, I get that. Kind of like I used to work for an insurance company I care not to name. Okay. And I was called in the office because they were all about nothing but numbers. Now, I'm not sure if there was anything that was race driven or anything, but I did notice when my Caucasian brothers would be fiddling with the numbers, nothing ever came back on them. I said, if I do what they did,
Mm-hmm.
I would get reprimanded for it. But yet I'm not doing what they doing, and I'm still getting reprimanded for it. So I had to make the decision as to whether or not I'm going to continuously do it the right way or I'm going to go ahead and do it the wrong way. Now, granted, they never had anything on me to just say, okay, I'm going to fire you. But with the job doing layoffs, they found a way to get rid of me through layoffs, which I'm thankful for, you know what I'm saying? Because I end up moving on to better things, you know? But at the end of the day, when you're continuously getting called into the office about something that you try to control, but it's kind of like out of your way, you can't control what a person says. You can try your best to get in contact with said individuals about their car insurance or the accident. If they don't respond to your calls or they don't do anything, what are you supposed to do? And that automatically affects your numbers and you're down because of that. And they know that. They hit you like, what is it? During for this company, you get at least 6 claims a day. 6.
What if ain't 6 accidents in a day?
No, I mean, but that's the max that you can get.
Oh,
It's
okay.
6 claims, right? Now, out of those 6 claims, it might have been a rear end accident. Well, no, rear end accidents was clear liability. So, but if it was a
See, this
sidewinder,
man still remember the regulations. I know when he left that job, it's been some years. So that shows his dedication to duty and the fact that he was paying attention and actually respected the rules of the job that he remembers it this many years later.
yo,
That's
yeah,
that military in them. They trained us by the book. Nothing more, nothing less. It is hard for us to break that habit. We are not going to be happy in our civilian life because civilian life has gray area. We are not wired to handle gray area.
I'm glad you said that because I gray area really does give me problems too.
Mm-hmm.
I need to. I have this thing where it's either what it is or what it's not. A decision has to be made. What is the decision?
Mm-hmm.
I cannot do the I'm not sure or there's no clarity at all. I need something specific. And I think that's what's in my nature. It's not that now I'm trying to control anything anymore. I just need to get down to the root. How specific can we be about said topic or said situation? I need to know where you stand or what is going on or where we are. You know what I'm saying? So I just need that kind of clarity at times, you know?
From the outside, if I didn't know you or your situations, say you gave me a scenario and I'm hearing what the other party is saying and I'm hearing your logic the way that you think, I would think, damn, this guy is very responsible and gets it. What's wrong with them? Society doesn't do that. It's the path of least resistance with the least amount of responsibility to get the job done.
You use a lot of big words right now.
The easy way.
Thank you. No, I'm just messing. But I understand where you're coming
You ever
from.
heard a sermon where they say, I want to make sure I quote this properly. Don't go along with the crowd. Is the hard thing is the best thing to do instead of doing it the easy way, which ain't the right way. I'm trying to remember the specific religious phrase that my pastor used to use.
But when it come back to you, we'll put it in the chat or whatnot. But at the end of the day, I kind of understand where you're coming from. It's usually better to go against the crowd because if the crowd was getting all going up a bridge, but at the end of that bridge, everybody falls off. Are you going to go ahead and follow the crowd or are you going to think for yourself?
Lemmings.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I was a person who kind of thought for themselves, but then at the same time, I was brainwashed. I remember one of my drill instructors coming to me, and this is after I was booted out of 2nd Battalion and had to go to 3rd Battalion. The drill instructor, and I remember his name, drill instructor, Staff Sergeant Marshall, at the end of my entire boot camp thing, he said, Leroy, you were like the funnest recruit that he has ever had. And I asked him why. He was like, because you knew exactly what you was doing and you knew exactly what the punishments and stuff was going to be, and you did not give a fuck about it. And I had that even, but I think
That's your strength.
that grew on me even when I was in. Well, that could be because I think that I don't give a fuck attitude came probably because of my childhood, and my dad would say, "Oh, we're going to do this," but he never showed up, or um, only seeing my dad a couple of times, but when I did see him, it was never in the best light until after I joined the military.
Is this the gentleman that gave us remanufactured people?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I'm not gonna put that topic out there.
Yeah, so I mean, like to this day, right now he's suffering with dementia. But from the time that I had gotten into the military, graduated and went to my MOS, we have developed a real good relationship. I understood, I said it took some time, but he wasn't there during my childhood, and I kind of resented him for that because I really wanted to have a father. But since he wasn't there, it was like, okay, well, fuck it then. Since you ain't here, fuck it. And that's how I kind of went through life. So I went into boot camp with the original fuck it and learned how to get a double dose of fuck it
But it made you stronger and better.
in different areas in my life. That's why I said I kind of I feel like I don't give a fuck is good for certain things, but you shouldn't. I shouldn't have that. I don't give a fuck when it comes to my wife or her feelings about something. If she's bringing something to me, I should not have the I don't give a fuck. Okay, you're gonna have to just get the fuck over it because that's not the case. It doesn't work that way, and I'm learning that now. You know what I'm saying? 20
His
years.
wife has the patience of an angel, y'all.
Yeah, maybe things might have changed, but it's
It's called love and respect.
and I'm learning that. Well, I've learned that, but it's clear that I'm clear minded and aware of the situation with help of my counseling to kind of bring it to my attention. But I shouldn't have that with her. Well, I shouldn't have that with my daughter either, because I did have that I don't give a fuck. Like, okay, well, listen, no, you need to figure out what you're gonna do when you get done with school. I mean, when you get done with high school, I need for you to, like, you got some choices that you can make. I give her the choices, and she's like, well, I don't want to do none of them. And I'm like, well, then what you gonna do? Because you ain't about to stay here.
You got a black sheeper. The choice is yours. You can get with this or you can get with that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, she's still my daughter, and I feel like
I did the same to my daughter.
how old was she?
When we had that speech, she was about 15.
Well, you was young.
So I
She was
basically
really
told,
young.
I gave it to her a little bit easier because she says, Dad, you're always Sergeant Danner. You're never my dad. She told me that till she was about 25. When she turned 25, she's like, dude, you were a dick when I was a baby. I was like, huh? I was like, explain yourself. So she's like, hey, you were trying to teach me lessons, and I got the lessons. I heard what you were saying, but it's just how you presented it. It was condescending. I was like, but did you get the message? Even with my response when she was 25, I was not listening to her feelings. I was like, but did you get the message? Only thing that was important to me was the message or the mission got accomplished.
See, and that's a good point. You put it like that, because I think that's what it was. At the end of the day, is I considered everything to be part of the mission. I guess you can say, when it comes to my family. Like, I really think back at during any time that I was going through whatever it is. I mean, during the entire time of my marriage up until my daughter and stuff like that to her age now, I kind of started looking back at all of the times that I felt like I've accomplished a mission, right? Getting out of debt the first time, mission accomplished. Not going to a private school because I never did it, mission accomplished. Buying this house that we're in right now, mission accomplished. Starting a podcast, mission accomplished. Making money doing comedy, mission accomplished. You know what I mean? And then my wife says, she would say, well, Leroy, you never really bask in the present. And I was like, yeah, but there's always something else that needs to be done. That's the way I kind of looked at it. But I think in as far as this year goes, right at the beginning of the year, everything came to like a crushing halt. Like, just everything just like stopped. Like, I couldn't figure out how to solve or get through the mission.
That's when you ask for help, bro.
Yeah, but that was the problem. I never asked for help. I never the only time that I ever asked for help is from my father, and then he told me at one point that I unfortunately I can't help you this time. So I stopped asking him for help, and then I stopped asking everybody for help. If I can't figure it out, then we have a problem. There is a problem, and I got to figure out the problem. Let me give you the breakdown, right? So, uh, Keita, Keita has is going through the things with her previous employer,
Yeah.
right? Well, her going through that, and me trying to be there for her with that, and then I find out my dad has dementia, and then my aunt Barbara passes away. Right, that's my grandmother's sister.
Is this the one where you told us about the funeral home? You kept calling them funky bees because they messed up the whole funeral. Was that for
That was for my grandmother.
Okay.
Okay, but this
That
is my
anchor right there
grandmother.
popped up too with the funky bees in the funeral home.
Yeah,
but
good.
go ahead, bro. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no, but my aunt's funeral was outstanding. But this was her sister, my grandmother's sister. And then 2 days later, my Aunt Sally dies. And that's my father's sister. So I called to check up on my father. My father flipping out. But at this time, I didn't know my father was suffering with dementia while I'm trying to have a conversation with him. I was just like, well, Pop, I'm just checking up on you. Talking about, like, Sunday won't let me go see my sister and everything. What they come to find out when my stepmom comes and tell me, like, well, your father is suffering with a form of dementia, like vertigo dementia, where he had minor strokes, like a lot of minor strokes, and it's causing the deterioration of his brain. So it's causing it to develop very fast. So I'm like, well, damn. What else? What else can there be? And then I'll share this with me. And then I have my own personal health issues. Come to find out, I got kidney stones. I got anemia, like extreme anemia. So I'm wondering why stuff ain't healing the way it is. You know what I'm saying? So all of that on top of that, and then I'm trying to figure out why the medication I'm taking got my feet swelling up. It just, everything came to a boil.
Before you continue, can I give you something before I forget?
Go ahead.
Working in the medical field, I want to give some people that's listening some advice. If you have any family members that have kidney stones, tell them to look at ultrasonic treatments. They put you in this big pool of water and they shoot ultrasounds through your body. The sonic waves crush the kidney stone and lets you pass it without feeling any pain of the stone passing. That's a hint to you also.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get some. I'm gonna go get in a radio bath.
Yeah.
And get my kidney stones broken up. That's kind of like the worst feeling ever. I got a joke about it too because
getting a stone stuck in your urethra, your pee tube. I know you was about to say, what the hell is that? Use those big words. Your urethra, when that stone comes out the kidney and out the bladder and it gets stuck in that tube and it can't come out, fellas.
Excruciating. What's crazy is that I got the first time that it happened, I was at the no name insurance company and went to the bathroom and I went ape shit. I go to the bathroom and when I go, it's like it burns and then I see a little bit of blood, right?
Bruh, you just told the world that you was burning and bleeding.
Hey, listen, I did. You understand? You see where your mind went, right? For a person who has never
took
had,
that? See how he took that? That's our comedy side. I was messing with him a little bit, and he just let it roll off.
see how the way you was thinking about it. That's how I was thinking about it because I have never had any venereal diseases or STDs or anything like that ever. So the first thing that came to my mind was like,
Fellow member of the Clean Club.
I said, baby, you need to get your ass to this doctor I'm getting ready to go to. What you mean, get there? So I go there and I'm like, hey, listen, doc, I went to the bathroom today and it started to burn when I pee. And there was a little bit of blood there. And he was like, oh, okay. Well, then he looked me right in the face and he was like, well, are you having any sexual activity? I was like, yeah, but with her, that's the only person. Are you having sex with anybody else? And I said, no. And then I looked at her. I looked back at her and she looked back at me and she said, nigga, I know you ain't. I was like, well, we need to know. Because I was like, I'll be damned. This ain't never happened to me before. you know,
around be riding the lightning.
Yeah, but then the doctor had me going in. It was like, chances are you passed the kidney stone, and that's what it was. And I was like, okay. I get you. Thank you. And I was like, I was all cool with that, man. And I'm talking about just straight with that. I was like, damn, I didn't think about nothing else. I ain't never had no kidney stones.
That quick reaction from I can't pee, it hurts, blood, your anxiety went from 0 to 100.
No bullshit. Because I was like, what the? Because I have this thing. There's two things. I never say I hate anything, but there's two things that I hate. I hate rapists, and rapists consist of you fucking with kids, taking advantage of females sexually, taking, you know what I'm saying, taking it. And just rapists in general, pedophiles, all of that consists of rapists. I hate them and I hate adulterers. Those are people who have made a commitment to somebody and decide to leave the commitment without at least being man or woman enough to let that other person know, listen, I would rather not be with you no more. That shit drives me up the wall. I hate that.
Can we add prison love?
That's part of rape.
Unwarranted prison love. Unsolicited prison love. Okay?
Yo,
I'm sorry, you do have comedians here.
yeah, get that nigga off me. You know what I'm saying?
Fleece Johnson, we joke about it. Dad was not cool. His whole life story is not cool. Booty is not more important than water.
I don't like him either. At the end of the day,
We joke about it, but that's serious. You cannot take a person's manhood. Just like we won't get into that topic today, but I have some resentments from my lighter relatives because of what my other relatives did hundreds of years ago with buck breaking. That resentment is in my DNA. I'm sorry. I know I'm lighter, and if anybody else wants to know, I am black. I joke and say I'm half and half. I'm black. My mom is his complexion. My dad is my complexion. I'm black.
yeah, he just got a little DeBarge in him. That's it. No, but at the end of the day, man, I really need things like this to be able to have just conversations and stuff. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I don't have a lot of close friends, like people who I just hang out with. I don't have that. So when you say, Leroy, during that time in the beginning, maybe you should have asked for help. During that time, I wasn't thinking I could reach out to anybody because even to this day, I kind of have always been reserved and personal. You know what I mean? Like, who can I really talk to be able to get this frustration off, or at least help guide me to kind of fix what's going on? I didn't have that. And then a lot of times I just been on remote pilot, like the way that I treat my wife or the way I treat my daughter, or just the way that I have engaged in activities with like all of my friends and family. It just that it just has not been the best all the time, or there has been better times more than worse times, you know? And I'm kind of getting a clear understanding, being clear minded about a lot of that now after looking back. I said certain things I shouldn't have said, certain things I shouldn't have gone into joking mode because I don't have a give a fuck attitude. Just because I don't give a fuck don't mean that they don't give a fuck. For an example, I have, let me tell you this. When I was growing up, I suffered with something called gynecomastia. You know what that is?
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
You want me to break it down for the listeners?
No, I'll break it down.
All right.
For all of you that don't know, I suffer with something called, when they say suffer, it's really not suffering. It's not really a problem, but it's a self-conscious thing with me. When I was like 11 or 12, I guess my body didn't start producing testosterone enough early to prevent what is called fatty male breast tissue or breasts. You know what I mean?
Boobs.
Right. So when I was in junior high school, my sister and my mom decided, okay, well, let's play a joke on Leroy and put a bra on him while he's asleep. If that didn't fuck me up for real.
You've never said this before. This is the first time ever hearing this.
Yo, but it really fucked me up to the point to where I don't take my shirt off at all. Period. Like I don't, like when I go to the beach, you might see people running at the beach or whatnot. To this day, I have ever took my shirt off at a pool, at the beach.
Bruh.
I'm sure, I'm be real honest.
Have you not seen Rick Ross in concert or Fat Joe?
I'm gonna be real honest with you.
Pun went topless.
It's a different topless when a nigga got money. I'm
Oh,
gonna be real honest with
facts.
you. I don't have none of they money, but I have they body type. It doesn't go that way around. Yeah, when you big and fat like that, you can run out there and be like, yeah, and I got millions of dollars. They can do that. I can go out there and be like, yeah, I got ones and tens of hundreds of dollars. You know what I mean?
He 100 there. Ain't
Right.
this a
So
bitch?
it's not the same, but it kind of affect my self conscious about that. But with my fuck it attitude, I have now been able to within my comedy be able to talk about it. But I still have a mental problem with it to this day.
Listen, bro. I'm saying this from my heart. And I'm gonna say it jokingly, but I'm saying it from my heart. Get over that shit.
It's hard to get over, bro. I don't go
You
to
know, not notice my lack of verticality. Yeah, I said that. I'm short.
your height,
Me and Cat Williams are the same height.
but that's something that
Me and Prince are the same height.
being short.
I caught hell my whole life.
But that's not no fault of your own.
Neither's your boobs.
Nigga. Yeah, you're right, but I'm not going to succumb nobody to it neither. I just,
That was
maybe
my childhood. Fuck it. Hey, I can't control how God made me. If I'm short, I'm short. If I'm light, I'm light. Try being the only light-skinned dude in a school of 400 kids. Boy, the racial jokes from within the black community on another black person, you had to have some tough skin.
that is true. Blacks are tougher on other blacks for just about any
Everything.
reason. Go to school with what you call them? What they call those shoes? Jabobos.
Oh, the Willy Bobos?
Yeah, if you go there with the bobos on instead of a shoe that somebody can name, nigga, you is getting roasted. I'm talking about bad.
I'm going to talk about myself because I was not financially blessed as a child. I'm not saying that, poverty is something you bask in, but I remember wearing them little yellow shoes that looked like Adidas, but they didn't have the right stripes. They was like yellow, blue shoes with the little yellow stripes. You got them in the grocery store at the checkout aisle.
Hey, listen, I went and here's the thing, and then I learned now why I was so adamant about putting Nana in a private school because of the uniforms and stuff like that. So you don't get picked on as much. You still get picked on for your color and stuff like that. I had to let her know. But when you are wearing the same clothes, at least you're not going to get picked on because of your clothes. The thing is that I, growing up, had wanted a pair of shoes. They were called Troopers. Right. I personally thought the shoes looked cool. Oh, I like those shoes. I'm going to get those shoes. I'm going to wear those shoes. My mom spent her hard-earned money to get me those shoes. I go to school with said shoes on. Now, during this time, I go to Jefferson Junior High School where you have to wear uniform.
Okay. Was the shoes part of the uniform?
No, it wasn't.
You broke the dress code.
No. I didn't break the dress code. The shoes aren't part of the uniform. All they had was
I misunderstood that answer.
it was gray pants, white top, burgundy sweater. That's what it was.
Sound like they was getting you ready for the military.
Possibly.
Dress code.
Yeah, but them shoes though. I put on them shoes, thought I was something else, and them kids was like, "What the fuck is this?" You know what I mean? And it hurt me so bad to where I decided I'm not going to wear those shoes. I'm gonna go back to the old shoes that I had from the previous year because they were Nikes. They had Nike shoes on, right? So I was like, that particular mindset is what mess us up to this day because even adults still feel the need to have to wear name brand stuff just to be somebody.
Who that?
Check this out.
Who them people? I need to have a talk with them.
What was it? If you go to, and I'm going to mention this comedian, Spunky. If you go to Spunky's page, Spunky had put on his page about how the white man advertises stuff to the American Negro. It's a short video, but in there they tell you how they send advertisement and try to get black people to buy things. During this time, it was like in the 50s and 60s, where they don't buy off-brand stuff because they felt like they might have been duped by purchasing off-brand stuff. So now they want to buy things that are name brand. I looked at a video maybe like a year ago, when I realized that people, adults, don't know what you got on. When I realized I had on the Signal 27 show, well, it was actually the community show. I had Steven Monzon on the show. Now he worked with me at the so-called no name insurance company. When I realized that there are watches out there that are more than Rolexes. You have watches that are like 350, $400,000 watches, and these aren't Rolex watches. But the videos that I see of the just average woman, we're like, oh, you got on a Roly. I want to get a Roly. When I realize you really don't know what kind of watch this other man got on that's 5 times as much as this so-called Roly. You just think you know what money is.
Let me show you about my defiance on that topic.
Mm-hmm.
What time is it, bro?
8:27.
How much did that cost me?
I don't know. It cost me to look over there to the screen to see.
That's my mentality on a majority of life. Fuck being a victim of the business system.
Mm-hmm.
I buy clothes that I can afford, that fit properly, and the colors match. I don't care about the name of the person that made it. No disrespect to our melanated clothing apparel people. I'm not buying your clothes just because you're black. To the corporate Americans like Tommy Hilfiger, who wants to get on Oprah and say, I design my people for my clothes for people that make 50, 60,000 a year, drive Beamers, live in suburbia, 2.5 kids, White House, picket fence, and dog. I get what you were saying in code, bro. Dog whistles is black people hear them too.
Did he really say
I
that?
don't buy into that. Yeah. I saw that video back in like the 90s, late 90s.
Oh, I thought that. I thought he recanted his statement. But
For
nonetheless,
some of my mental health issues, having grown up in poverty, I decided to fight back and not become a victim of the system. I didn't want to be that guy that if I ain't got Gucci, I ain't happy. If I don't wear, well, back in our day, if I don't wear like South Pole and I don't have Hilfiger, no. What's comfortable, what I can afford, and as long as the colors match, I could give a fuck about the rest. But again, that's me being combative.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, my combativeness, I use it as a positive weapon to fight the system trying to make me a victim of it.
Make you a slave to one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned that. What is it?
Sometimes your anger helps you. You just got to know how to weaponize it and when to turn it off, which is a problem that we both have because there's times I don't turn it off, especially my employer, if anybody watches this. I don't like to be railroaded. When I do a job, I read the regulation before I complete the task or before I even start the task. I read the regulation to make sure that I'm giving proper instruction because sometimes training is flawed.
Mm-hmm.
And one little mistake can cost you your employment. The most important thing to me in my life is my health and a roof over my head. If I make a mistake that puts me out on the streets, I don't have a lot of family and friends that just gonna let a 50-something-year-old man just crash on their couch because they job fired them. Because now we have this thing called ageism. Mm-hmm. You may have all the job knowledge in the world. You may have all the best resume. You may have 20 references that just say you are the shit.
But due to your age.
You know what? He's 50. He's probably going to retire in 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
And then we got to pay him a severance. Companies cut you off. Know those things before you enter into certain. I'm not saying everything is about money, but you need to have money to take care of your health once you retire because medications is not cheap unless you're a veteran. We got to get our veterans registered because most pills are $8 for a prescription for the whole month, not per pill, for the whole month. So if there's any veterans listening, go ahead and comment below. And if you need any help either registering with the VA, Leroy can get a hold of me because I do work for one federal agency that can assist.
Okay, when this video goes up, because it'll be up on YouTube, we'll go ahead and make sure that the information is there. Just hopefully that the way I have it set up, we can get people to kind of
It's va.gov.
There you go.
If you want to register with the VA and you are a veteran and you're not registered, go to va.gov. If you are a current veteran listening to this show and you have any type of mental health issues and you have not sought care yet, if you are currently registered, please contact your primary care doctor and ask them to put a consultation letter into the mental health clinic. If you are not registered with the VA, please go to your nearest VA, take your 214 and get registered. If you don't have a copy of your 214, go on va.gov On the left-hand side of your screen is going to be a section where it says get your records, and they will have it sent to you from the Atlanta office. If someone tells you that we lost your records in the fire in St. Louis, that fire was in 1986. Anybody would join enlisted or join the military after 1986, whether you're an officer or enlisted, your records are stored in Atlanta. Don't let them railroad you. Because this is a source where I can tell my friend, hey, man, I know you're a veteran. I've been on his ass for 8 years now.
Yep.
Get registered, get registered. We have some other friends that are veterans and work at the VA. Man, if you don't bring your ass in here, we knew you was a veteran. Come on.
And don't let your discharge dissuade you from going to get your benefits. The only thing that will prevent you from getting any kind of benefits is if you got out with a dishonorable discharge. Every other discharge you can receive benefits for.
So that's honorable. Other than honorable, general.
Mm-hmm.
You can still get VA benefits.
So,
especially for mental health care. And even if you're not registered with the VA, we can still treat you for mental health care. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. And I shouldn't say I am not the VA, but the VA can assist you with that. There's a special program for veterans that are not currently registered that need help immediately. Also, if anyone has any mental health issues that involve suicide or drug addiction, there is help for you guys also. Do not be afraid to come to the VA. I know jokes if I just end the word like that. The VA has programs where they pair you up with someone with a similar issue than you. So if I have mental health issues, if he has mental health issues with anger and we both have anger, they're going to put us in the same room so we can talk it out. Sometimes the best thing is just talking to a friend or someone with a similar situation to realize that you are not unique and someone else does understand you.
And I got to agree. If I did not make the attempt, because the entire time I was like, man, ain't nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with y'all. Y'all should fucking know better. You should fucking better know better. That's what I always did. But at some point, what had jarred my memory is that, okay, if everybody is saying the same thing, I have to be the problem or the source. And I give it to Keita. So thank you for enlightening me on that part there to be like, okay, well, maybe you got a point. If everybody is saying, Leroy, you got an anger problem, then maybe you should go ahead and start getting it looked at, you know? So in August, I decided to go ahead and do that. But to piggyback on what you were speaking on before in reference to the clothes, I personally realized that as adults, people really don't know what brand of clothing you have on. I'll mention him, Earl. A friend of ours passed. His name was Earl Glover, and we was in a store one day, and a woman was like, "Oh, I like your shoe. I like your boots. The boots look just like Tim's. Look just like Tim's.
Walmart specials?
I guess so. They look like Tim's.
If you see me wearing Tim's, they the Walmart specials. I don't even know the name of the company.
The thing was is that when he's like, okay, thank you, I appreciate it. And then I was like, man, I didn't know when you get to Tim's. It was like, man, these ain't Tim's. I got these from Payless. And I looked at him. I was like, well, I'll be damned. And I was like, how much they cost? It was like $25. I said, I'm not about to pay $150, $175 for some Timberland boots with suede and stuff, and I can get the same look for cheaper.
What did I say? I can afford it, and it looks nice.
But the thing is that a lot of our younger people feel like you don't have money unless you're wearing name brand clothes. And I was like, well, that's
broke mentality.
That's hearsay. Yeah, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Honestly, tell you the truth, I'm sitting in a room with close to maybe like $15,000 worth of equipment. You want to really know what money look like, you know what I'm saying? To be able to do this out of your home is money. But you think I'm just going to sit up there and just walk out with like this shirt that I got on? I go to Walmart to look for shirts all the time. I love plaid. Plaid is my thing. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, though, I'm not about to spend $150 for a plaid shirt. That just doesn't make any sense to me. And for people who have my complexion, our complected people, our African American people, for you to put so much emphasis on whether or not a person is wearing name brand clothes, then you have the problem.
That's culturally brainwashed by our ancestors. I shouldn't even say ancestors. Go back 3 generations to our grandparents and their siblings, where they had to wear suits to go to a doctor's office just so the doctor knew that black person had enough money to get treatment. That was their mentality. If I don't come in here in a 3-piece suit, they're going to think I'm poor. If I'm a poor black, this one white doctor in this town ain't going to see me. That passed
Okay,
down
that
through
makes
our
sense.
generations. Then you have the generation, say the 40s, 50s, and early 60s, where one black man went to work, came home, brought the check home, mom stayed at home. Women, they needed that sense of security that they got a man that's going to go out there and make money. So they taught their children, their nieces, female children and nieces, you got to find a man that's got money. Our generation flipped that little whisper, find a man with money, into gold digging. So where do we place the anger? Because we, men of our generation and the next generation under us, man, we not messing with these women. They gold diggers. All they want is money. All they want is to ride in a Lamborghini and a Beamer, and I gotta wear Gucci, and I gotta wear.
I want to be taken care of. But that's not okay. So let's clarify one thing. That's
That
not
anger.
all. That's not all women.
No, it's not.
Just I want to put that out there. But it's a lot of you, and this is from videos and stuff that I've seen. The woman that I have, she's not like that.
Videos. That's my life experience.
So yeah, with you being a single man, you just having to always come up to women who always asking you for stuff beforehand.
Other than the triple sixes, which I don't know why women want the double, 6 figures, 6 feet, 6 pack. That's triple six. But for me, when I was in my 20s and 30s out there single and dating, you got a house, you got a baby mama, you got alimony, you got a Beamer, you got somebody live with you. I'm like, yo, when you meet all these criteria and they still tell you no, yeah, you're not 6 feet. You build up some resentment. I was shut off from dating for about 8-9 years. I just wouldn't, because everyone's looking for that. I'm not going to say everyone. There's a group of people that I was attracted to. They were looking for that type of guy. I was that guy. It's just that I didn't have that one block on the resume. It's not 6 feet.
You don't got six abs neither.
Yeah, I do. They just under the fat. They're insulated. It's cold in Cleveland, man. You don't want your abs to get cold.
Yeah. I ain't got it neither, but I ain't 6 feet. Well,
You
I'm about
closer than
five.
me.
Yeah, I'm about 5'11". Yeah, but even still, to this day, I never really had to deal with the date. It's just the things that I've seen online and social media that come across my timeline that seem like, even when I watch these, right now, like the first few pop the balloon challenges where they'll pop a balloon before the man even get a chance to say anything, and then when you realize, well, damn, maybe I popped it too much because now he's a doctor, or now he's an attorney, or he has his own brand or anything like that. I think a lot of times women pop their balloons for fickle reasons. And it's like, okay, well, what are we doing? What are you all doing? Are you all even looking for love? And why does now the things that you want, why does those things matter? Like, okay, so what does a 6 foot tall guy do for you if you all are staying at his mama's house? You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
psychological comfort that he's a protector because of his size.
yeah, but that's why they make guns. I know some of the. I know some of
Thank
the.
you.
I know when I was in the military, some of the toughest guys were like 5'6", 5'7". They will outrun you. They will outfight you, and everything. And your height didn't make a difference to them. And then on top of that, the military gave them 5.56s. If y'all don't know what that means, them are the bullets that they need to get the job done. So at the end of the day, yeah, ladies, you got to kind of open up your mind and get yourself and realize that there are more men out there that might not fit all of your criteria, but haven't fit the ones that matter the most. Does height really matter if you can't afford to get food on the table because he feel like his height allows him not to have to work? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So
I should have prefaced me mentioning that, because there's different levels of anger that we men feel. The the male ego is strong, but at the same time it's fragile. We can accept rejection when it's quantified. When it's just, oh, I don't like your hair. You have curly hair. I'm not gonna say that B word because my mama would backslap me still, even though she's like pre-70. I'm not gonna say that. I don't want to say that number of my mom's age because people had jokes about it. But there's things that people do to men, and I don't even want to say people. Society in America does things to men to emasculate us without knowing it. I've had the fortune of traveling to about 8 countries in Europe, from Germany, Spain, Italy, Portugal, Greece, Turkey, Moldova, technically that's Russia, Norway, Sweden. And if you count the Azores as their own country, it's an island part of Portugal. But that's a lot of places. You can see how their men interact in those countries is totally different. How society treats and respects the man is totally different. When you go to the Middle East, people look at the men there and be like, oh God, you belittle your women. Women have no rights. Think about this. When a man is the head of the household, who do you address first?
You address the head of the household first.
At the same time, you address the head of the household. Are you really belittling the wife? Or is that just a societal routine that you address the head of the household?
Yeah, that makes sense.
In America, and again, I'm not saying that what we do in America is wrong and what they're doing over there is right. But with women's lib and how it's being loosely applied, randomly applied, it puts men in a place of confusion and anxiety. We can't say this at this time. We can't do this at this time. If we make this move, what's the female version of emasculating a female? I don't know that word.
I don't. Yeah.
But, do we belittle our female by not giving her power and authority in certain situations? Because they felt for so long that being June Cleaver, the stay-at-home wife, take care of the kids, teach the kids, and cook all day
was not good enough.
Now they want more, and they want to be equal to a man. Okay, when you get that equality, understand that some of those chivalry things must go away because now you're equal. It puts men in a state of anxiety. Some men don't know how to approach women, and it makes us feel, oh my God, we're on pins and needles. We're walking on eggshells. Eventually, you're going to come to 3 things. You're going to say, give up on women, go to men. You're going to become a simp, or you're just going to be in the head.
Well, I seen a video in reference to exactly what you're speaking about. The guy he walks up to, he sees the lady that he wants. Or at least he sees that she's nice, and he walks up to him like, "Hey, how you doing? My name is London. I just think you're beautiful. I just thought that I would speak." And some of these women are so rude.
Why the fuck you speaking to me? You don't know me. Why you speaking to me? Right. I know I'm beautiful. I left the house. I put my makeup on. I bought all this.
Right.
Yeah, that. And don't forget the hand. The hand's got to go with it. Right. Like they picking imaginary cotton out the air. Right. What slave DNA still in their system.
What was it? The last video I saw, the girl said, no, you can't talk to me unless you're sending me a cash out. I was like,
blatant.
What? Or another girl said, who said that you can talk to me? That's exactly what she said. And then they whole mood change when he ended up walking to a car that she requires money to get. Now your attitude change. Mm-hmm. And it's like it can't be that way out there, can it? And my thing is this, it's like, well, damn.
The under 40 generation, that's what they're dealing with.
Well, here's the crazy part. If men are dealing with women who act like that, then the men who are actually getting these women, what are they doing? Like you said, either simping. Oh, you're gonna get a man that's not going. They're gonna be looking to use you since you're making the love part transactional. So right up front, you know what I mean. All you want is money. Well, all I want is some pussy from you. So I'm gonna give you this dick. I'm gonna throw a little dollars away, but I'm not gonna take care of you at all, no other way.
So where does that leave us men? Psychologically confused.
Facts.
As we age, we may become resentful of females and switch to men. Hopefully that doesn't always occur.
No, not on this side.
But I know females that have that same situation. That's why I mentioned it that way. I have a lot of female friends that multiple dudes did them wrong. They was like, enough is enough. Women understand women. And they go on.
Damn.
That's a certain level of anger that anger pushes you to the same sex.
Yeah, I don't think I'm that angry.
Don't ever get that angry.
I don't think I'm that
Unless
angry. I'm
that's
not.
something, you
Hey, we can move on.
all right.
I ain't part
I
of
just
that.
didn't want to leave any topic untouched.
Right. Like literally untouched.
Well, yeah.
But first of all,
He's still scared to joke. This man is a professional comedian. He won't even tell a joke.
no, I tell a joke. It's just that I'm not. There's certain communities I don't mess with, and the LGBTQ. I might say certain things to y'all, but I'll be damned y'all catch me out in the street, beat my ass, and then try to fuck me. It ain't about to happen that way.
My bad. I didn't mean to open Pandora's box.
I'm just letting you know it ain't going down like the way you think it's gonna go down, bitch. We about to fight, and I promise you, we both of us gonna be fucked up, but you probably gonna like it anyway. So, with that being said, yo, first of all, Fabler, man, I want to first and foremost thank you for coming through, at least having this conversation with me, man, just to help me keep my mind clear, and hopefully, it's something that help you out too in your journey with your mental health. If there's anything, you can always come to the house if you say, "Well, dog, I just want to sit in front of the camera. Let's talk." You know what I mean? I'm definitely going to be down for it. But I want to have more shows like this where I got my partners come on and we talk about stuff dealing with our mental health and stuff like that. I feel like I'm getting better. I think one thing that I am going to have to do is that I'm going to have to find some form of spirituality to kind of help me like guide my path. You know what I mean? Not saying that I'm going to be a Christian or anything like that. I know I used to say fuck Jesus all the time. Like, okay, well, fuck all that bullshit. You know, I used to say it all the time, but something has got to give. I got to be able to cast my cares onto something else and not try to control stuff all the time because everything is not in my control.
That's what fuck it is for.
Yeah.
Do you have to become a lemming to a routine instead of just saying fuck it?
You got a point.
Because now the routine becomes your master. Did you really heal, or are you just following a routine?
Well, I think if I can get something out of it,
Yeah,
maybe a
fuck it. Just let it go.
yeah.
And that's the hardest part. When you can say, all right, you know what? I'm fucked up. You know what? So what? I ain't gonna do that dumb shit no more.
That is true. Yeah, because I know I am. I've been fucked up for a long time, and it's going to take more than 6 sessions of EAP to help get my mind together. But I am a man of action. So once I know a thing, or I stop considering it just fluff, like okay, well, it is what it is. Whatever, you're going to have to deal with it. Once I get to a point to where it's like, okay, well, no, some changes need to be made. I specifically make said changes and go ahead and do a 180 and turn away from those changes and try to do something completely different. But now it's on my forefront. You know what I mean? So I got it in my brain housing group to make sure that, okay, well, before I have conversations, make sure that I'm not having conversations out of anger. And if I am angry, or if I am going through anxiety or my emotional level is too high to be able to have a conversation that won't affect the person that I'm trying to get the message to, then I'm not going to have the conversation right then and there. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned so far.
Baby steps. As far as I've gone to this class, I've talked to family, I've spoken to my wife. If you are a religious type person, you speak to your minister for counseling. Woohoo! Everything is baby steps. Don't expect to get one answer to fix your problems from step one. It's a process. Healing from mental health issues is like a marriage. It's not perfect. Every day it's a new process to build your love and your relationship to get it better. You have to learn your wife. You have to learn your husband. If you have children, what are their mentalities? You have to learn them and adapt. And every couple of months, every couple of years, there's a new adaptation. That's been my journey with my mental health, on top of the fact that I was diagnosed with Asperger's. So a lot of times I feel guilt and anxiety about things because I don't know how to process feelings. Mentally, I'm not wired to process feelings. It is what it is. The truth is the truth. And if you get mad about the truth, fuck you, have a nice day. That has been my mentality until I was about 45.
Then that means that if you get to the point, I think honestly, tell you the truth, and this is in reference to from one comedian to the next. once you get done doing your job and you retire, I got a feeling that the things that you are wanting and allowed, you'll be like me when it comes to it. It'll be like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say this for the sake of my employer. I say the same. No, I don't. I don't give a fuck. I say what I want to say, and if my employer find out, then damn it, then y'all just found out. It is what it is. But I understand what your situation is. You're not the same as me. But if the point comes to where you you leave or you retire or whatnot, now it's time for you to just do this comedy thing full circle, bro. I think honestly, tell the truth, 15, 20 times better. Honestly, with the writing and stuff you do, you'll be able to go on stage, have the persona that you want, and be able to go out there and say what you need to say without worrying about people's feelings. Because honestly, tell you the truth, they need more comedians to say the truth because the world is so jacked up now. I had saw Rob Snyder. This guy was talking about, he was speaking at a college, and the guy asked him a question. He was like, how do you feel about children learning about sexuality and what they're going to be and what they want to be? And Rob Snyder broke it down so simple. He was like, would you allow your kid, who now identifies as a pirate, to take their eyeball out and cut their leg off and put a peg leg on? Would you allow that to happen? Right? And it was like, well, if it's their right, they can be able to do what they want to do. He's like, not at 14. You're not doing that at 14. That doesn't make no sense at all. And for that kid or for that college student to say, yeah, I will let that happen, you got to be, and if you even see this, you had got to be the dumbest college student that's out there that you allow your child to mutilate themselves at just so they can be a pirate. Because then afterwards, what if they don't want to be a pirate no more? Now what? You missing a leg and now your eye gone. You think you're gonna be a pirate for the rest of your life? You know what I mean? Like I knew when men were in the house. And well, first of all, I think the homosexuality thing has just become rampant. But then I started doing studies about
It's been there
the
forever. It's just
it
been on the low low.
yeah,
Like,
it's
shh,
been there
don't
on the
talk
low
about it.
low, but I think more and more people. I think it has happened, but not as much as it has been happening because of the things that they do to the food and water and stuff that we eat. There was a study that was going out that they did on rats, and they started putting, I guess, atrazine and stuff inside of the water for rats.
He used a big word. I'm so proud of you because you always tease me about my
Ah,
medical knowledge.
yo, but my thing is that they said the stuff that they was putting in the mice water made the mice want to have sex with other male mice. So my thing is, if they can mess with the biological mind, dealing with the drugs and stuff that they take there, what can they do to the human mind with the stuff that they put in our food and drinks and stuff like that that we buy from the store? I don't believe that as many homosexual people were out there now the way they is today. And I'm thinking because of how they ramped up the processed foods with all of the antibiotics and all of the drugs and stuff that they pump in the animals. So then that way when people eat it at a young age, yeah, you start your brain is not processing stuff right.
I'm going to say two things on that. One, actually, I'm going to say three. Genetically, we as African Americans, we have some type of resentment due to buck breaking. And I'm going to leave that there. That's another topic for another day.
But that's for the older generation
It's
that
in our
know.
DNA, bro. We fight it.
Yeah, but there's a lot of homosexual men
I know.
out there. Atlanta says it all. They like to.
It's
I mean,
amazing how it switched from San Francisco when we were kids to now it's Atlanta.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
You know,
But there are chemicals that cause higher levels of estrogen in everyone,
hence the titties.
or younger female children starting their cycles when they're 7, 8 years old, because especially within hair care products. It's cool to have a little bit of that chemical in shampoo, but when you put it in shampoo, you put it in conditioner, you put it in makeup, eyeliner, a little blush.
Yeah, you start to realize that your skin absorbing that chemical at 8 or 9 times as much than it normally would have had.
Then you mix that with plastics, which cause estrogen in everybody, no matter what the sex of the person is. I'm not going to say that we as a society aren't being affected by the diet. But again, as I said, I've been in foreign countries where the homosexuality is not as
Prevalent.
profound as it is here in America. They also have a different diet. I poo poo on Dr. Sebi a lot, and I will continue to do that. I think he's a quack. But there is something to what he was saying. But what we as a society need to be angry about, not just our mental health anger, but our protection of our life anger, take them damn chemicals out of our food. Grow your food. Sebi was like, hey, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat that. It's not that those foods are bad. It's just that in America, they got chemicals in them.
I agree to a certain extent. I think
You know, the fluoride,
with
the
the
with the rotten. You want rotten teeth? Or you want to be a little goofy?
and then they say fluoride is considered and classified a neurotoxin. So for all y'all that don't know, it is. It messes with your brain.
You want rotten teeth? You could be crazy with great teeth. Or you could be sane with a rotten teeth and can't eat.
But given the circumstances, I'd say Dr. Sebi was on the right path when he got sued by the United States, and he brought in all of those individuals in reference to the curing of HIV/AIDS and certain things like that. But we have to understand that our whole medical system is under control
Watch
when
it,
you
bro.
can
Watch it.
pretty much say
It's a lot of
nothing.
funding from medical money in here.
Yeah.
Don't shoot your investors.
I know, right? So at the end of the day, continue to drink as much fluoridical water as you want. Make it fluoridical. You know what I mean?
Making up words.
But he was on to something, because those individuals that end up leaving the United States, every person that I see who say they left the United States and went to another country and was eating the same exact foods but were losing weight, let me know that there's something wrong with our food and our that we intake here. And you got to realize anything that you put inside, as far as food or inside of your body, is how you either gain or lose weight or heal yourself. You know what I mean? And your body is considered to be self-healing. So I know a lot of people say, well, I'm just going to fast for a period of time. But, you can't do what Jesus did all the time, because you're going to have to intake something. Even the waters that we drink that's in the bottles still have small plastics and stuff in it. So,
Oh, he learned about microplastics.
yeah. So, but
Just remember, plastics cause the body to create estrogen.
see, another form of,
Did you drink a lot of bottled water as a child? Man, boobs.
no, we had faucet water.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. So, the pipes and stuff had
Lead pipes or either old
PVC.
PVC definitely because of plastic, but the old galvanized pipes will rust. Oh, it's not good. Lead and galvanized up north. If anybody lives in the northern part of the country and you're watching this, please replace the pipes in your home if you can afford it. If you have a house that's like 100 years old, 80 to 100, you probably got lead pipes that lead out to the sewer system and the water system out in the house, out in the yard. Dig them up, put in PVC.
So,
Or PEX.
all right, y'all. So first and foremost, I want to thank all of y'all for tuning into the show. This will be uploaded on YouTube, and then videos will be cut of this show, so that way we'll have some things to upload for the reels and things like that. But I do want to thank the Fabler for coming through. Go ahead, Fabler. Let them know how they can find you and everything.
Yo, you can Google this name. DANNERIUM. You'll see me. I have some YouTube skits of when we were performing at the former club we used to work for here in Jacksonville. There's some videos there. Also, I bartend part-time, and I have a lot of instructional videos on YouTube for the bartending. If you guys want to do things like the Tipsy Bartender makes, I can teach you how to make those.
All right. And just remember, as a plug for myself, if you're in the Jacksonville area around December 5th, I will be at the Comedy Zone recording my special called Anger Management. Come on through. Make sure that you buy your tickets. You're definitely going to have a good time. It's going to be Big Chip hosting, Jen Weeks featuring. I got my brother Daryl Ruger. The Sounds of Daryl Ruger is going to be singing. And then, of course, I'll go ahead and do my special when it comes to that. It's going to be a 4-part, which is going to be roughly around 15 minutes each. It's going to be denial, regret, and then the last one is going to be what do you call it? Transparency. So that I can't think of the third one. I'm still working on that third part, which is only about 10 minutes. But come on out to the show. I definitely appreciate it. And also remember, at the beginning of the year, we'll be starting up the Signal 27 show again, but it's going to be slightly different. Still going to have the comedians and stuff on as far as the regular crew goes. But we're going to be doing more interactive stuff, things like bop or
Pop or
shot.
shot.
We're gonna have
Oh, I'm gonna get
soda,
y'all on this one.
have soda tests and things like that to test out different sodas. If we do bop or shot, and I know in advance, I would rather do it on a Friday, and we be able to use real liquor. You know what I mean? I think that might make it more fun.
We can't drink on air, sir. We're not sponsored by any of those beverage companies.
Are we not sponsored?
We'll have flavored water.
Yeah, that tastes like vodka. But we don't got to. We can always take it. We can always take it out the bottle, but we won't be showing any of the brands that we're using unless the brands decide that they want to go ahead and sponsor the show. Then we would do Bopper Shot with said brand. I think that might be best, and I can also help out Denarium push his tipsy bartender style drinks out on the show. But they'll also be very quick to make when it comes to Bopper Shot. You just pour the shot. We don't need to kind of
So
make the drink.
if you guys are listening and you watch our bop or shot when it comes up, be ready to listen to some music. Chime in the comments. Let us know if you know what the song is.
Right. And if you don't, you make sure you have your bottle of liquor ready to take your shot. And we can all have some fun, but that's going to be the direction of the Signal 27 show. It's going to be less toxic and more based off of fun. We're still going to be discussing topics and stuff that happen in the world, like Butterball and the people who was fucking the turkeys. So I know y'all boys are trying to get some food, but ladies, it's bad when men decide to fuck a turkey. Versus,
I told you guys gonna
what I'm
leave
saying?
women.
So at the end of the day, they can't be with a man. They would rather be with the turkey. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you take your Butterball turkeys back because they got male genitalia stuck in them.
Honey glazed ham come with a new glaze.
That's ham, not turkey.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for tuning in to the Anger Management Podcast with yours truly, the Last Leroy, and my guest this evening,
The Fabler.
The Fabler. Y'all make sure that y'all go out to the YouTube page at the Last Leroy _official to check out more podcasts and more shorts that we'll be issuing out. Okay, thank y'all, and y'all have a good night.